Chapter 2 Microorganisms Friend and Foe. You have seen several kinds of plants and animals. However, there are other living organisms around us which we normally cannot see. These are called microorganisms or microbes. For example, you might have observed that during the rainy season, moist bread gets spoiled and its surface gets covered with grayish white patches. Observe these patches through a magnifying glass. You will see tiny black rounded structures. Do you know what these structures are and where do these come from? Microorganisms. Activity 2.1. Collect some moist soil from the field in a beaker and add water to it. After the soil particles have settled down, observe a drop of water from the beaker under a microscope. What do you see? Activity 2.2. Take a few drops of water from a pond, spread on a glass slide and observe through a microscope. Do you find tiny organisms moving around? These observations show that water and soil are full of tiny organisms, though not all of them fall into the category of microbes. These microorganisms or microbes are so small in size that they cannot be seen with the unaided eye. Some of these, such as the fungus that grows on bread, can be seen with a magnifying glass. Others cannot be seen without the help of a microscope. That is why these are called microorganisms or microbes. Microorganisms are classified into 4 major groups. These groups are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. Some of these common microorganisms are shown in figures 2.1 and 2.4. Viruses are also microscopic but are different from other microorganisms. They, however, reproduce only inside the cells of the host organism, which may be a bacterium, plant, or animal. Some of the viruses are shown in figure 2.5. Common ailments like cold, influenza, and most coughs are caused by viruses. Serious diseases like polio and chickenpox are also caused by viruses. Diseases like dysentery and malaria are caused by protozoans, whereas typhoid and tuberculosis are bacterial diseases. You have learnt about some of these microorganisms in classes 6th and 7th. Where do microorganisms live? Microorganisms may be single-celled like bacteria, some algae and protozoa, or multicellular such as many algae and fungi. They live in all types of environment, ranging from ice-cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. They are also found inside the bodies of animals, including humans. Some organisms grow on other organisms while others exist freely. Microorganisms and us. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Some of them are beneficial in many ways, whereas some others are harmful and cause diseases. Let us study about them in detail. Friendly microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for various purposes. They are used in the preparation of curd, bread, and cake. They are also used in cleaning up of the environment. For example, the organic wastes, vegetable peels, remains of animals, feces, etc. are broken down into harmless and usable substances by bacteria. Recall that bacteria are also used in the preparation of medicines. In agriculture, they are used to increase soil fertility by fixing nitrogen. Making of curd and bread. You have learnt in class 7th that milk is turned into curd by bacteria. I saw that my mother added a little curd to warm milk to set curd for the next day. I wonder why. Curd contains several microorganisms. Of these, the bacterium Lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. It multiplies in milk and converts it into curd. Bacteria are also involved in making of cheese, pickles, and many other food items. An important ingredient of rava, suji, idlis and bhaturas is curd. Can you guess why? Bacteria and yeast are also helpful for fermentation of rice idlis and dosa batter. Activity 2.3. Take half kg flour, add some sugar and mix with warm water. Add a small amount of yeast powder and knead to make a soft dough. What do you observe after 2 hours? Did you find the dough rising? Yeast reproduces rapidly and reproduces carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increase its volume. Refer figure 2.6. This is the basis of the use of yeast in the baking industry for making breads, pastries and cakes. Commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for the large-scale production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, crushed fruit juices, etc. Activity 2.4. Take a 500 ml beaker filled up to 3/4 with water. Dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. Add half a spoon of yeast powder to the sugar solution. Keep it covered in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. Now smell the solution. Can you get a smell? This is the smell of alcohol, as sugar has been converted into alcohol by yeast. This process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Louis Pasteur discovered fermentation in 1857. Medicinal use of microorganisms. Whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsules or injections such as of penicillin. The source of these medicines is microorganisms. These medicines kill or stop the growth of the medicines Such medicines are called antibiotics. These days, a number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria and fungi. Streptomycin, tetracycline and erythromycin are some of the commonly known antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria. The antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms and are used to cure a variety of diseases. Antibiotics are even mixed with the feed of livestock and poultry to check microbial infection in animals. They are also used to control many plant diseases. It is important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. Also, you must complete the course prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need it in future. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. Antibiotics, however, are not effective against cold and flu as these are caused by viruses. Vaccine. Why are children or infants given vaccination? When a disease-carrying microbe enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. The body also remembers how to fight the microbe if it enters again. If dead or weakened microbes are introduced into a healthy body, the body fights and kills the invading bacteria by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease-causing microbes forever. This is how a vaccine works. Several diseases, including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, and hepatitis, can be prevented by vaccination. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. In your childhood, you must have been given injections to protect yourself against several diseases. Can you prepare a list of these diseases? You may take help from your parents. It is essential to protect all children against these diseases. Necessary vaccines are available in the nearby hospitals. You might have seen the advertisement on TV and newspapers regarding protection of children against polio under the Pulse Polio program. Polio drops given to children are actually a vaccine. A worldwide campaign against smallpox has finally led to its eradication from most parts of the world. These days, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several diseases. Increasing soil fertility. Some bacteria, according to the figure 2.7, are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microbes are commonly called biological nitrogen fixers. Cleaning the environment. Bujo and Paheli had observed the gardener making manure. Along with their friends, they collected wastes of plants, vegetables, and fruits from nearby houses and gardens. They put them in a pit meant for waste disposal. After some time, it decomposed and got converted to manure. Bujo and Paheli wanted to know how this had happened. Activity 2.5. Take 2 pots and fill each pot half with soil. Mark them A and B. Put plant waste in pot A and things like polythene bags, empty glass bottles and broken plastic toys in pot B. Put the pots aside. Observe them after 3 to 4 weeks. Do you find any difference in the contents of these 2 pots? If so, what is the difference? You will find that plant waste in pot A has been decomposed. How did this happen? The plant waste has been converted into manure by the action of microbes. The nutrients released in the process can be used by the plants again. Did you notice that in pot B, the polythene bags, empty glasses, bottles and broken toy parts did not undergo any such change? The microbes could not act on them and convert them into manure. You often see large amounts of dead organic matter in the form of decaying plants and sometimes dead animals on the ground. You find that there is